All right, so anyone else try to check their bank account balance on January 16th and just come up empty?
Yeah, I think we all felt that one.
Thousands of Capital One customers, right?
Yeah.
They were locked out, totally unable to access their money.
Yeah.
Online banking, the mobile app, even direct deposits, it all just stopped working.
It really puts things into perspective, doesn't it?
For sure. And it wasn't just a quick blip on the radar. This thing dragged on for, what,
Yeah.
2 whole days?
2 days, yeah. And it really highlights how vital these systems are to our daily lives. We
But,
talk about digital banking, and it sounds, kind of abstract, but it's how we pay our bills, get paid ourselves. Imagine everything just grinding to a halt like that.
and it's not just the inconvenience. Our sources were mentioning people panicking, right? Missing bill payments, dealing with payroll issues, vendors left in the lurch, not knowing if they were going to get paid, like serious real-world consequences.
Absolutely. There's a real human cost to these outages that goes way beyond just, oh, I can't check my balance right now, especially for people living paycheck to paycheck, relying on those direct deposits. 2 days can throw their entire month into chaos.
Totally. And what's even more unsettling is that Capital One hasn't really come out and said what exactly caused this whole mess. It's been pretty radio silence from their end, which, doesn't exactly inspire confidence.
Transparency is key, especially in banking, right? It's built on trust.
Right.
But when something like this happens and there's no clear explanation, people start to wonder, okay, what's really going on here? Can I trust these guys with my money?
Right. And some of our sources were even saying they were thinking about switching banks altogether after this, like completely rethinking their whole digital banking setup. Makes you wonder about the long-term damage, not just to Capital One, but to the whole idea of relying on these systems.
It's definitely a hit to their reputation. And you have to consider this isn't an isolated incident. We've seen similar outages at other major banks, maybe not as widespread or long-lasting, but enough to suggest that there's a systemic vulnerability here.
Okay, so if this isn't just a Capital One problem, but a potential issue across the board, what can we, like the average person, do about it?
Well, for starters, Capital One has said they're going to make things right for their customers, restore access, make sure nobody's out of pocket because of this outage. That's, I guess, the bare minimum, right? But what this really highlights is the need for a contingency plan.
Contingency plan for banking.
Exactly. Think of it as a backup for your finances. Keep a little cash on hand, enough to cover some essentials if you suddenly can't access your accounts. Diversify your accounts. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, so to speak. Use multiple banks. That way, if one goes down, you're not completely stranded.
I see what you mean. Kind of a don't put all your eggs in one basket approach.
Exactly. And it doesn't have to be complicated, just simple steps to ensure you're not totally reliant on one single system. Because as we've seen, these systems can and do fail.
All right, so lesson learned. As convenient as digital banking is, maybe having a little bit of that old school cash on hand isn't such a bad idea after all.
Right. It's about balance. We embrace the efficiency, the tech, but we also acknowledge the risks and take steps to mitigate them. Because let's be honest, nobody wants to be stuck without access to their money, especially when bills are due.
Totally. And that's something for all of us to think about, right? In this world where tech is so intertwined with our finances, how do we make sure we're both convenient and secure? Not an easy question. Let us know your thoughts, and thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the Capital One outage.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Until next time.